Hey guys, I've been attempting to make videos recently and it just hasn't been happening. So we're gonna try again, see what happens. Yeah, uh, I've recently noticed some obsession, a lot of thinking about this one woman who we have been connecting for a little while now, and somehow life has just made it so that we've gotten very close. And that closeness is so scary for me. And I just sort of want to cut it off. I just want to be like, "Oh, I don't want to do this." Um, and it's so funny, like how life has just orchestrated things at times to where just out of kind of nowhere, we end up connecting. Um, and it's been really difficult because it does bring up so much. And anytime you're going into obsession with someone or like limerence, um, it comes from fear. It comes from this sense of lack, like you really need that other person, you need their approval or validation or whatever it is. You feel like they have your happiness, they have your wholeness and fulfillment. And of course, consciously, we know that's not true, but there's subconscious programs. This programming is really deep, especially in Western culture, about you need a romantic partner, you need sex, you need another to be complete, right? There's so much in the zeitgeist about it, like all the movies, the songs, and that programming runs really deep, and you can feel that programming. It's just like you can, if you've been single for a long time, maybe you've seen through this programming and it's come up and you've let it go, and that's amazing. But for a lot of us, this stuff is really deeply rooted. And when it comes up and out, it can be painful. But as I'm speaking this, I'm realizing that's not the main thing here for me right now. That is a good thing to touch on. I think that programming has dissolved pretty strongly. Because I don't really feel less than ever when I'm single. I don't ever feel like I need someone to be whole, if I'm being completely honest with myself. I think this connection for me right now, it's more about the fear of a lot of emotional intimacy. It's the fear of being vulnerable. It's the fear of opening my heart to someone who could really hurt me. That's more of what this feels like. I don't know if I went, it's an interesting kind of thing going on. It's like, was I looking for this? Was it looking for me? Because I have dissolved a lot of the programming around, needing sex, needing love, needing romantic relationship to feel whole. I found so much wholeness in my own being. But at the same time, I think it feels like, as I'm saying this, the divine sometimes will bring certain people into our life to really help clear the rest of it out. Relationships are beautiful mirrors, and these type of connections that are really kind of intense and they bring up strong feelings, they will amplify any places within you that feel unworthy or that feel lack. So relationships can be incredible catalysts for healing and beautiful vehicles to expand your awareness, right? They don't always feel good. They're not easy. They can be quite scary, of course. It's because they're going to bring up your trauma. So it's interesting how I can say, like, yeah, I know in my soul or in my depths, it's like, I feel good being single. I love my life. I fucking love my life. It's very great. I do everything I want in every moment. Like, that's pretty much what I do. I've been doing that for quite a while now, and I just love it. But I think there was something in me that has been calling fourth, perhaps partnership. And I'm just playing here in the moment. I'm having an inquiry myself, right? So that's why I like these videos. They're just very alive. I'm in the unknown. I'm learning with you as I'm speaking. So, it's almost, and I said this in the Patreon community a little bit, it's like we can get so far in aloneness, and being in aloneness has just as much to offer as being in a relationship. They're both infinite pathways of self-discovery, right? It's just which one serves you in the current stage you're in right now in your life. And I think aloneness really served me for a long time. And I would have some intense encounters, right? Those served me. But it's been a long while-ish since I've actually been in what you would call a partnership. And I'm not in that right now. But that's something that, and I don't even want to say it could be a possibility. I don't know. What I'm trying to communicate is I think that there's something in me that has been curious and growing more curious about, what would a healthy partnership be like? Is that possible for me? Is secure attachment something that I would like to experience? And am I healed enough to perhaps, have that with somebody? And so we can have secure attachment with like a healer, maybe a really nice spiritual community. We have secure attachment with that container, friends. We don't just have to go to romantic relationship to experience it, right? And so that's where I've been exploring secure attachment in all these other types of containers. But there has been something, and I don't want to say that there isn't any of this desire. Like, I don't want to say that there's 0% of this desire for romantic partnership coming from this place of societal and cultural programming of like, you really need someone to be whole. I don't want to say I'm completely done with that programming, like all the way. I think a lot of it has been blown out of my system, but we got to be humble and be like, hey, maybe there's still some stuff in there. And maybe there's still some of that stuff driving my impulse or my desire for romantic connection. And this is where we learn as humans. This is where we don't really know when we're in it. We can always look back and kind of see like, oh yeah, that was a lot of cultural programming that was inspiring those actions. That wasn't actually my true self. But sometimes we got to go through the experience of living out the programming in real time, but doing it consciously for that programming to unwind and dissolve and fall away. So sometimes it's not just enough to see it. We have to actually experience it out while seeing it, while feeling what it's like to live from cultural programming and to move from cultural programming and to kind of feel the ick of that. And then it will fall eventually. But then, when we're moving into things that are out of our comfort zone, that can also kind of feel like, like there can be an ick there because you're going to have to face a lot of your own shit. And I think this connection that I'm in right now, it's really, really intense. And it might just be helping me clear out a bunch of my stuff around sex and love addiction, fantasy addiction, validation addiction, because this stuff goes really deep, right? And so some people come into our life just to help us empty out, and we're doing the same for them. I mean, that's essentially the purpose of everything. We're all just, like Ram Dass says, essentially we're all just walking each other home. And so whatever serves you is going to come into your life. Whatever serves your evolution the most, whether it be a person, a group, a new modality, a new job, a new challenge, a heartbreak, whatever's going to serve your evolution the most and serve your awakening the most, that's what's going to come into your life. And so this connection has been really powerful for me because I am in the unknown with it. And then as I'm talking, me talking about it helps me kind of ground a bit more and get more clear. And there has been this inner guidance of like taking it as slow as possible and like stopping along the way and taking space and like checking in with myself, like what's going on here, and total transparency and honesty in the container, like with her, just telling her, like naming everything that's coming up. And that's why I love the container. Like, hey, I'm in anxious attachment right now. Hey, I feel like I could get really intoxicated on this and I don't want to be intoxicated, and for me, emotional sobriety is very important. And so anytime I'm getting intoxicated in a container with someone, I'm realizing it's bringing up some stuff. I used to get high off the intoxication and really enjoy it, like I used to enjoy getting drunk on alcohol or something. But much like I have no desire for alcohol, that, haven't touched it in many years, I have no desire for emotional intoxication either. It's just ugh, it kind of has that, like, how if you don't drink and you were to drink alcohol, you'd feel sick. That's how I feel with emotional intoxication these days too, like limerence, obsession, fantasy, all that stuff. That kind of druggy high you get, that some people will say falling in love. It's just a lot of dopamine, right? It's just almost like I want clean connection. I want, I like to be high on grace. That's what I'll get high on. So, maybe this person is just coming into my life to empty me out of more of this, these programmings rooted in like this sex and love addiction stuff, helping me get clean there. That's the thing. And I think on Earth right now, things are moving so fast, at least in my reality, things are fucking flying. So sometimes this has been a really huge theme for me in the last 5 weeks to 2 months. It's like, I don't actually know what's happening a lot. I'm just in it, right? I'm just going through it. And I feel like I'm just on this freaking, like, whatever the fastest kind of train is. And I'm just like moving through layers and layers and layers of density, unconsciousness, etc. And while I'm going through it, I don't really know. All I'm able to do is stay open, stay curious, stay allowing, kind of let go of judgment. I'll tell you this, these times are really good for letting go of the mind, because the mind's going to change its mind. That's what it does, over and over and over again. And so I'm learning in real time, like, what this connection is all about. And while I'm learning, I'm just staying curious with what it's bringing up. I'm like, wow, it's bringing up this tension, this constriction, this terror, this fear. It's bringing up, oh, wow, I'm just kind of really obsessing about her today. Interesting. It's bringing up, it's showing me where the mind is, because whenever you're in tension and terror and constriction, the mind's always going to be in duality. It's going to say, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, go this way, not this way, because the mind's trying to get out of suffering. But the mind's inherently in separation. So, when you're actually in suffering, that's not the time to go to the mind. And we could say it's never really the time to go to the mind. But I'm just going to slow down a bit here. Kind of get grounded. Yeah. So it's been a really potent connection. And because it is interesting. It's like sometimes the guidance is to just let go of her. And then other times the guidance is, okay, now it's time to connect. And to let go of someone doesn't mean you totally say bye to them forever. Sometimes you just have to let go of them in your own body. You know what I mean? You just got to let go of them, because maybe you can feel yourself clinging onto them at places in your body or where you're getting really attached. And maybe the guidance isn't that you totally disengage from the connection forever, but it's just that you let them free, like in your own self, Because a lot of times when we meet someone and we have really strong feelings, it's like our inner child wants to grab onto them. Like, oh, there's mommy or there's daddy or whatever, right? And it's like, we actually that's one of the gifts of these connections. It brings up that terror, that little one who needs love. And it's like we get to, that connection's such a gift because we get to like meet that one now. That other person helped trigger this part up. And now we get to fall in love with this part of ourselves, and we get to show it like right here is mommy or daddy. Like right here is all the love you could ever want. And so as we do that part of us that wants to cling on to the other, it learns it can let go. It can let go. And it's going to find all the love it ever needed right here within. And then maybe as that starts to happen, we can have healthier and healthier relations with that other person where we're not obsessing, we're not becoming super codependent, and we're just having, whatever healthy connection. Whatever that is, right? And maybe this will be an exploration we'll go on together. I don't really know the point of my work anymore. That's always changing too. But I just wanted to share something and just to be honest. I just know the point is to be honest, and that's all I can really do. But yeah, it's a really awesome connection in the sense it's really intense and it's bringing up a lot, but it's also very challenging. And like I said, I do sometimes think maybe I should just quit it. I have these thoughts, maybe I should just quit that connection, thoughts, right? Quit that connection and focus on my work. And then realizing, but that is your work, sweetheart. Your work is to do this relational work. And I swear to God, if it's like somehow I was able to let go of that connection, I just have this feeling that the divine would be like, bring something else that's going to bring up the exact same feelings within me up, right? It'll bring me either another person or some other situation that's going to make me feel what's going on in here. So at the end of the day, we can't run from ourselves. We can't run from reality. But there is this desire to stay sober in it, to take space when needed, as much space as needed. And that's the thing with those attachment parts. They're going to never want to take space, right? They're just going to want to cling on and like talk forever and ever and ever. And I've been doing a pretty damn good job because I've got a fuck ton of experience in going into limerence and going into obsession and addiction with others. Because I had that experience this time around, I'm just like, I know where that goes if we don't take space, if we don't, let things integrate. And so, yeah, I've been enjoying doing that. I don't know if I've been enjoying it, but it's been needed. I've been attending groups that really help with this stuff, that bring an understanding to it, that bring light to it, that help me stay in my power. I've had a hell of a time staying in my power while in relationship with another. That has not been easy for me in this lifetime. But it's something that I will learn how to do. That's what feels true. It's like there is that kind of energy in me, like I will learn how to do this. And so I don't know how this will move. I really have no idea. Life's moving really fast. Yeah, could get on here tomorrow with a totally different message. But that's the thing, is like breakthroughs are happening really quick. Right, like when we feel all the way stuck with something, if you just stay with it 10 more seconds, 10 more minutes, you might have a totally different perspective. So just, take care of yourselves. That's the main thing right now. I don't care what's happening in your life. Don't blame yourself. Be tender, be soft. Let go of any judgments you have about what's going on. Really let yourself off the hook. Just keep loving yourself, like keep breathing love into your body. Try to stay relaxed and surrendered no matter what's arising, because that's what the pain that's arising needs. It needs a relaxed and surrendered presence to hold it. And you are that presence. You're not all the stuff coming up, right? You're not your life situation. You're the loving, relaxed, surrendered presence that this whole game of life is happening within. And so just stay as that, relax into that, and enjoy being a human. Like enjoy what's happening for you. Even if it doesn't feel like it's happening for you, even if you feel like it's happening to you and you feel a victim of it, try to see if you can find the good in it, how it's helping you evolve, what it's helping you let go of, how it's breaking down maybe your personal will so that you can surrender your life more fully to the divine. That's what I was doing on the beach today, just opening to the Divine Mother, telling her to come into me and to walk this path for me, Like literally, come into me, Divine Mother, and walk this path for me. So you can pray that deeply, and maybe that will help too. But so much love to you. Thanks to all of you who book sessions. I really love meeting with you, and your donations are appreciated. Yeah, just thanks for being here. Namaste.